Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is just going to be a talk through a makeup tutorial on using one palette that I decided to choose today. So starting off, we're just going to prime the eyelids with the Morphe eyelid primer. I put a tad bit too much on my finger, but we'll just go ahead and buff that through. Today's palette we're going to be using Through My Eyes by I Love Sari and Colourpop. I'm going to start off with that light pink shade just to set down the primer that we just put on. So I took that on a nice fluffy brush, just picked up a little bit, and then lightly started to pat that onto my eyes, and then went back and forth in windshield wiper motions just to make sure it's a nice even canvas and nothing is too patchy or weird. First shade we're going to jump into is this beautiful mauve color, and I'm going to pick that up on the same brush. I actually picked up the, a different brush. I do apologize. I'm going to take this on a profusion brush, and I'm just going to buff this into the transition area. Because we are going a little bit bolder today with the colors, we definitely want to make sure that we have a nice transition color, and I think this purple color here, beautiful mauve, is a really nice transition shade for today's look. So just continue to buff that into the transition area here, taking a little bit at a time, just going from outer corner to inner corner, and then work your way up with little to no product left over towards the brows. After that, we're going to pick up this peachy pink shade here. We're going to put this on a fluffy brush, but it's a little bit more dense at the tip, so we're going to just buff that into the crease area slightly, but more towards the transition area. We're just going to go over that transition shade just a little bit and blend that in, and then as we have little to no product left over, we're going to blend upwards towards the brow. That way everything is nice and effortlessly blended. No harsh lines, nothing weird like that. And then again here, I'm just taking that first transition brush and just buffing all that in, going back in with our transition shade, just making sure this is nice and blended and we have no crazy lines going on there. After that, we're going to pick up this beautiful deep plum shade, and we're going to work this into the crease. I am taking this on a pencil type brush, but it's not really as small as a pencil brush, and we're going to work this into the crease area with this color. Because it is so bold, I just take a little bit at a time, work it into the crease, and then work my way up into all the other colors we just applied. Definitely want to take your time with a bold color like this. I felt like I was blending for quite some time, but it definitely worked out in the end because we want that crease shade to pop and to look blended. We're going to pop into the purple shade next, and on the same pencil type brush, we're going to buff this bold, beautiful purple color in the corner crease of the eyes. I'm just lightly tapping the color onto the eyelid where I would want it to be, and then I'm going in little circular motions to blend that into the outer corner of the eye. And then when I have little to product left, I start to blend it towards the middle portion of the eyelid and then slightly into the crease area as well, just so we get a little bit of purple in that crease area, but mainly this color is going to be in the outer V. Jumping in with that purple shade here, I tried to apply it with the profusion brush, but I figured it's not working out for me. It just wasn't picking up the color as I wanted it to pick up. It was just kind of letting me down today. So then after I applied a little bit with the brush, I decided to go in and use my finger, and I think that worked out so much better. It picked up a lot of pigment, and it just made a nicer effect than the profusion brush. It looked really, really nice when I started to use my finger to blend out that glitter purple shade. Absolutely amazing. And then I'm going back in with that pencil brush and just buffing out the crease just to make sure everything is nice and blended. Once again, we didn't lose that crease color. No product is on here. I just used whatever was left on the brush. So just go back and forth, making sure everything is nice and blended. Next, I'm jumping into the purple shade as well and just lightly going over that glitter shade and the matte shade, just so that it's a nice ombre effect from glitter to outer corner matte, and everything looks really nice. Then just one more time going in over with the transition brush and making sure. For a primer today, I'm going in with the Milk Hydro Grip Face Primer. And as you guys know, I have been loving this primer. It is seriously amazing. This is making me want to try more grip primers because the first one I've honestly tried, and it is absolutely amazing. It does not move, it does not budge. It keeps my makeup lasting for hours and hours. It is absolutely fantastic. For foundation today, we're going to be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour foundation. First, I start to apply this with my brush as always. So far, I have been liking this technique. So I just start to paint my face like the true Picasso I am, and then I will blend out everything with a damp beauty sponge. This one is the Real Techniques sponge I recently just picked up at Target. I was in desperate need of a new sponge and kind of was wanting something new. I didn't want to use my typical L'Oreal Morphe or e.l.f. one, so I decided to pick this one up, and so far so good. I have been really liking it. It gets really big once you dampen the sponge. It's working out well for us. For concealer today, we're going to be going in with the Colourpop No Filter Matte Concealer, and I'm going to be using this to highlight underneath my lower or my under eyes, my chin, nose, and forehead. We definitely want to make sure we get rid of those bags because those bags are not cute. They are dark and we need to hide them. So once I place the concealer down where I want it to go, I'll go in with my damp beauty sponge as well and begin to buff that in. Typically, I really like to start from the bottom and then work my way up to the lower lash line, but really I didn't know what I was doing this time, but definitely want to make sure you look up when you're buffing in your concealer so that way it doesn't crease and we don't get any weird crease lines underneath our lower lash line. Now I'm setting it with the Airspun translucent setting powder, if I could talk today, and just begin to lightly pat that in. I used my damp beauty sponge this time to set that, and so far I've been liking the effect it gives on me. For the rest of the face, we're going in with the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder, and as well I'm just using this with my damp beauty sponge. I've really truly been liking the way it makes my makeup look. And then I'm just taking a regular brush just to dust off any other powder I may or may not have left behind, just to make sure we don't have any weird powder marks. For bronzer today, we're going in with the NYX bronzer here, and I'm going to use this to put some color back into the face. I'm going to be putting it on the cheekbones and then putting it on the forehead as well. Again, just to add some color so we don't look too flat, we look three-dimensional, and everything is nice and in focus or in motion. So we'll just go ahead and buff that in. For blush today, we're going in with the Milani Blossom Time blush. Why can I never say blush? It's the hardest word for me. But I'm just taking that on a Morphe brush here, and we're just going to apply this to the apples of my cheeks. As you guys know, so far I have been liking blush. I think it's a really nice way to like complete your makeup, but I'm not super crazy about it, but so far it's been working out for me. Highlight today, we're going in with the Dr. Facilier highlight. I think this is in Shadow Man, I want to say, but it's the one with Colourpop that they did for the Disney villains. I just take a little bit on a brush here, and we're just going to use that to highlight the high points of our face. So the cheekbones, I put it on the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow, a little bit on my chin. This is a perfect, like, deep golden highlight. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have about 2 of these highlights from the Disney Villains collection, and they are absolutely amazing. I definitely want to get all of them because Colourpop does not play with these highlights. It's so stinking good. To finish up the lower lash line, we're going in with the pinky shade here and just running that color from the outer corner to inner corner on our lower lash line, and just making sure that we have a nice transition shade there before we go in with our dark shade. So just taking that from outer corner to inner corner, making sure we have a nice solid pigment there. Then we'll take that dark purple, put it on a flat e.l.f. brush, and run this as close to our lash line as possible. That way we get a nice little depth in there, and then I'll blend it out with the brush as well, just to make sure those 2 colors are nicely blended together. And then for our inner corners, we're just going in with this golden highlight here, popping it into the inner tear ducts. And I think this color absolutely makes this eye look pop out even more. For our waterline today, we're going to be using the Honeysuckle eyeliner from Colourpop just to make the eyes look brighter and awake. For lips, I'm going in with the Butter Luxe lipstick from Colourpop. I'm applying this over the NYX lip liner in London, and I think this totally completes the look here for today. But that is it, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I did set my makeup with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray just to make sure everything is nice and set for the day. But I really hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.